Hey, I'm Guy Davis of Davis Family Vineyards. I'm the grape grower, winemaker, and founder of this Pinot Noir vineyard here in the heart of Russian River Valley. I'm going to take you through a glimpse of a vine's life, what happens before the grapes even show up. I'm right here finishing pruning. If you step up here to the vine that I finished, you'll see I've taken off all the growth from last year. Each of these canes that I'm cutting away carried a couple dozen leaves and 2 clusters of grapes, which made our last vintage. I'm selecting right now my 2 canes that I like in this position to spread out and focus the energy of the vine, and each of these buds that you see will be the beginning of the very next harvest. Follow me on up and we'll take a look at the next stage. Well, this is it. This is the moment that we call bud break. This is the beginning of the new vintage, one of the first signs of spring. The little buds I just pointed out are now open, turning into leaves and shoots. This is the beginning of what will be a 95 to 100 point Pinot Noir sitting on your dinner table in 2.5 to 3 years. Let's go see how that happens. And that little furry bud has swollen up and now turned into the shear's growth. So this cane is about 3 weeks old. All this new fresh green growth has happened in the last 20 to 25 days. These 2 pieces that you see, which are flowers that are about to bloom, will turn into the eventual positions of the grape clusters. So each of these little knobs here in the next few days will go off like a small little fireworks display, pollinate itself, and eventually become the grape clusters. Let's walk up the hill to the next season and I'll show you the look of that. Well, we've moved along a few vines and along a few weeks. Right now this is the stage that I like to call bloom and set, where the little flower has bloomed, the pollen has and is pollinating and forming the small cluster. You can see here where the pyrotechnics I was talking about have gone off and the little blossoms are in full bloom, and here where they've set the first small grape cluster. Our last pass through the vineyard, what we did was take these canes and tuck them inside the wires. What that does is creates a vertical wall here of leaves. It allows the sunlight to get to the clusters. It allows the airflow to come through so we don't end up with any mildew or shading. Our next pass, what we'll do is go in after all the clusters are completely formed. We'll see our favorites. We'll prune everything down to just 1 or 2 clusters per cane. What that'll do is allow us lower yields but higher quality. Let's move on up the slope and into the future. Wow, nice set. I usually get slapped for a comment like that. Well, by now you can tell it's not just the flavors that are magical in this vineyard. I've been able to create a little time warp as well. It is August 1st today, and the grapes and the clusters are now at their full size. We're entering a point we call veraison, which is where the grapes go from green to purple. We've made about 7 or 8 passes in the vineyard right now. We've adjusted the sunlight and the airflow that's getting to our canopy. Our next pass to date will be to deal with these little clusters we call second crop. This is the extra energy that the vine has. We'll start to push out these. We'll make a pass starting tomorrow morning. We'll come through and we'll drop all these second crop clusters to the ground so that the vine doesn't use up any of its energy to ripen those. As we go into veraison, as these color changes, when we're about 80% of the way to purple, we'll drop the clusters that still have green on them, meaning we'll thin this crop down another 20 to 25%. We take advantage of that window because Mother Nature's giving us this opportunity to see the pace of the ripening of each one of these clusters. And so the ones that are behind in the color change will be the same clusters that are behind at ripening. So we can really even the crop. We'll take our yields down and be a little more quality than quantity focused. Right here you see the very beginning of that color change. Let's continue up the hill and a little closer to ripeness. Well, here we are. We're at the end of the row and at the end of the season. By now, we visited every vine about a dozen times, from the pruning through all the vine training and shoot positioning, the pulling of the leaves. We've thinned this crop 3 times, so we've chosen just our favorite clusters by now. And all those are packed, the skins, the juice, with really rich concentrated, not only sugars, but really wonderful flavors as well. So the skins have thinned out. The seeds have gone from green to a brown, toasty almond color and flavor. And the journey for the grapes and I is only about half over. We're headed to the winery, so I better get to work.